We think that we are the entity that is thinking, but actually every part of our experience is you could think of it as like one whole totality of motion. The thoughts that we think we are equally thinking the thoughts in as much as we are blowing the wind, in as much as we are raining the clouds, in as much as we are seeing someone walking down the street. So how do we liberate ourselves from thinking while still being able to think and tap into an actual, the true autonomous, or the true autonomy of our mind, which comes from behind the mind, which is coming from pure being? The first step is to understand what you essentially are is pure consciousness. You are not a thought, you are not a feeling, you are not a thing. I want you to recognize that there is a place of experience where reality is experienced as it is, and thoughts, they clothe experience with a quality that is imposed after it is experienced. Most people operate in that way. Most people operate in living experience after it has been clothed with a thought in the aftermath. So what we want is to be capable of experiencing experience without clothing it with thoughts that tell us what it is after the math. We want to just experience reality as it is. Reality as it is naked. It's illuminous, and it is not solid. You see? Reality as it is being, pure being. So everything that you're experiencing now is an animation of pure, unmanifest consciousness. And everything that you see then is then clothed in superimposed ideas, things that come from the past by thoughts. So what we're going to do is just recognize right now, I want you to take a thought on its own. Think the thought wave. And I want you to think that thought really slowly. I want you to go wave. Think it in slow motion. I just want you to think that very slowly. And then what I want you to do, when you're saying this thought, wave, I want you to go to the very start of that thought. I want you to go to the part where there's no thought, then there's the wave. I want you to go to the part just where the thought starts to think. You see, just where you think the thought, where you go from silence to wave, I want you to go to the W part, you see? The minute, bring your attention so fixated, I want you to see the bit where it starts to go from silence to sound, so to speak. I want you to go to that. You can pause the video and try it. Now I want you to see that a thought is literally, what you'll experience is that the more you try to focus on the bit that goes from silence to sound, you elongate the word. The word kind of elongates. You start to go, you basically start making it more silent. What you'll notice is that you are contracting something right now. This thought you're doing is a contraction. What is it contracting? What are you contracting? What are you vibrating? Notice you're vibrating something. You have control. You have a vibration happening. What is it that you're contracting to vibrate? You're contracting consciousness. That is consciousness contracting. You are in that moment going from pure consciousness to subtle contraction to create the word wave in your mind. You are literally vibrating yourself. You are vibrating consciousness. So a thought is nothing but consciousness in motion. It is a vibration of consciousness. So a thought never leaves pure consciousness. You never see anything other than pure consciousness. And we can use this understanding of a thought to replicate it into the world. Because now the next step is to see that nothing in the world is actually of the world. The only thing we experience is perception. So we just went to thought, this internal sound, so to speak, this abstract internal sound. And we can see that actually I am contracting consciousness to make the appearance of the sound. In the same way, now it's harder with the visual field, but in the same way, when we hear sounds, Consciousness is contracting in the same way that we are contracting thoughts. So when you think random thoughts throughout the day, those thoughts are equally as contracting consciousness as the wind is contracting in the form of sounding the trees, you see? So we're never really hearing wind connecting with a tree because sound doesn't exist in neither the wind or the tree. So when wind blows through the tree, sound is not in either of them. So where does the sound exist? It exists purely in our mind. So sound is not an experience objects have. Sound is an experience our mind creates. And our mind creates it by contracting consciousness. Everything is a contraction of consciousness. Everything is a localization, manifestation, and contraction or vibration of pure consciousness. So recognize right now that everything in your experience, when it is experienced nakedly, is just a vibration of consciousness. And the vibration of consciousness, if we span that out to every form of our senses, that is life. And that is what our mind is made of. And our mind is made of pure consciousness. So when I experience the world, I experience pure consciousness because the only thing there is of the world is pure consciousness. Now, because I have the experience of not knowing pure consciousness, therefore thus creating an amalgam of 10,000 things, creating this world of 10,000 things, I have the capacity to both experience pure being and I can see the shape of things. I can make distinctions of things. But notice that none of your experience is separate from itself. So for example, there's no barrier between sensation and sight. There's no barrier between sound and sensation. There's no barrier between anything. There's all experiences clothed in one. It's like, imagine a rainbow. It looks like a rainbow has however many colors a rainbow has, but we know that the rainbow is just an expression of pure colorless light. So right now, this room is filled with light. Everywhere I move my hands right now, there's light there. But guess what? When there's nothing there for it to shine on, there's no light. It looks like there's no light. But the minute I move my hand there, well, there is light because you can see my hand. And if there was no light, you wouldn't see it. So light is everywhere. And if you shine that or refract that through a prism, right? A prism, the little glass looking thing that makes light shine like a color, you see that light unmanifest, white light, manifests as the colors of the rainbow. I think it's the 5 colors of the rainbow. We're going to stick with that. It manifests as the 5 colors of the rainbow. In the same way, pure unmanifest consciousness in its pure state before you've vibrated it is like the colorless light. And then once you vibrate that into the 5 colors of experience, seeing, touching, tasting, hearing, smelling, you get the 5 colors of experience, which is what we call life, which is the mind. What we see of life is actually our mind. And when we share a collective experience, we call it life. And we are all vibrating in this this third dimension of experience. So when I see the world, that's the combination of things that I'm seeing. It's purely consciousness, purely just being, and it's manifesting in what we could call the colors of life. Pure unmanifest consciousness manifests in the 5 colors of life. Seeing, touching, tasting, hearing, smelling. And that is what we experience. Even our thoughts and feelings, our sensation and sound-like experiences. The process I took to get here is actually to remove knowledge. So my knowledge of the world had to be removed. Think about it. Your knowledge of the world right now says, this is a cup, this is a chair, this is a table, this is a banana. This is all knowledge. You're basically taking like a formless, abstract vibration. You're applying meaning to it. Meaning only comes from reference. So meaning only comes from external experience, which is, in your experience, some form of memory. And then you're saying, this is what this is. And you're actually convinced that that is what it is. It's like having a room filled with clay and looking around and saying, this isn't clay, this is a bed, this is a table, this is a guitar. No, everything is made of clay. And it's knowledge. Knowledge is basically a thought that you have attached to the thing that tells you what you think it is what is preventing you from seeing the clay. So where I'm seeing pure consciousness, you're seeing objects because you think that the objects are fundamentally real and that they have their own independent existence. And it's almost as if your pure consciousness is like a light that you shine onto it. It's not like a light that shines onto it. The actual object is made of pure consciousness in the same way. If we had a room filled with clay, everything in the room is the clay. There's actually no object in the room other than clay. You can't say that's a mug, that's a vase, that's a bowl. Then the bowlness is just the shape, the vibration of the clay, but it never actually becomes a bowl. In the same way, our sense perceptions never become an object. They simply seem to manifest as a vibration in that shape, but they never really become that. So pure consciousness never really becomes the world. It manifests in an appearance that vibrates in that shape, but doesn't actually become that thing. That is how one infinite reality manifests as the apparent world of 10,000 things. So to experience the world as it is to experience it as it is, which is pure being. From that point of view, there's no knowledge. You don't have knowledge of a world. Knowledge is removed. The knowledge of the world was primarily there to remove itself. That's the magic of knowledge. That's the magic of life. We create knowledge in order to remove it. That's the purpose of it. Knowledge is literally designed to be removed. And in the end, we remove all knowledge, and that removal of knowledge is pure understanding. So the next step is to understand. Understanding what we are, understanding the world, everything that I've shared, is an understanding. Understanding, true understanding, doesn't exist in the mind. Understanding resides as pure consciousness. So understanding is the removal of knowledge, and it is experiential. So do not seek knowledge, seek to understand, and seek to remove knowledge. Once the knowledge of the world is removed, as Ramana Maharshi says, the self is revealed. This is the self he's referring to, pure being, seeing that there's no separation in experience. Everything is one whole-onymous experience. Just like you've experienced if you've had sex or played sports or done anything that seems to remove your sense of limitation away, your sense of separation, that is pure being. And what you experience then is essentially what your thought is telling you about experience. Everything in that experience was pure being. That's why we love it, because pure being is the experience of pure happiness. Happiness that transcends any feeling, thought, or human emotion. It's happiness irrespective of anything in experience. That is unconditional happiness. I hope this video was helpful. I have a free community, the link's in the description. I take people through meditations, and it's an amazing place to connect with people and share your understanding. So I'll see you there. Have an amazing day, guys. Take care. Bye.